So this is the third time that I'm having to record this video now, and I'm actually going to go nuts in a minute. So basically, I'm just going to give you guys a bit of context first before I actually dive into Gotham Knights for the third time now. So I recorded it once, it was fine, everything was dandy, editing the video, happy days, upload, done, good, whatever. Come back to close down Premiere Pro, audio that I recorded is gone, deleted, kaput, I don't know where it's gone. Turns out one of the files I deleted on my PC, on my laptop, whatever, is too big to delete like normally, so it deletes permanently. For some reason the recording of the audio was in there. I don't know how, I don't know why, I don't have an explanation, but either way, it basically meant that the video I'd uploaded had zero commentary. So, I got understandably pissed off and annoyed and frustrated, so I calmed down a bit, I come back, I'm like, I'll just re-record it for a second time. Far more abbreviated version of my thoughts on the game, because I've already had to say everything once, and I'm not interested in repeating myself for another 25 minutes, so I did it again. Managed to make it go for another 25, 26 minutes, so I was quite happy with that. I've just literally finished recording it, and I've gone back to just double check it and save it, and the recording of the audio is just fucked. It's broken. It's just me saying fine. So it's like my laptop or my mic or something somewhere has got stuck on that and only recorded that. So it's just me saying fine for 25 minutes. The actual commentary is gone. So I don't know what's going on with my laptop. I don't know what's going on with my mic. I'm giving this a third attempt now. If this one fails, then I give up, and there's just not going to be a video on Gotham Knights this week. It's going to be next week, because I'm actually going to throw my laptop at someone otherwise. So if in this video I seem irritated, which I know I already do, because I am. I'm frustrated, I'm annoyed, I've lost time now that I was going to use for two other videos, because I was going to record two other videos today, Jedi Survivor and Dead Island 2, and I was going to edit them and get them all smashed out in one day. That was meant to be, I should have been recording Dead Island 2 or Jedi 25 minutes ago, but I've been trying to, fix this problem. I thought I had just fixed it 25 minutes later, because it's now 3:30, and it's not fixed. I'm now having to do this a third time. So if this doesn't work and I waste another 25 minutes of my day, then I'm going to just call it quits today. I'm just not going to record anything, because I'm not going to be in the right headspace to do it a third time. A fourth time even. So, with that out of the way, and the context of why I sound so pissed off in this video gone, again, I apologise that I am frustrated, and I probably shouldn't even be making this video. I should probably just wait until tomorrow now and cool off, but because I have work for the rest of the week, I don't have time. It has to be today. Okay, so for the third time, and I'm not going in depth, I'm going even less in depth than I did in the first two recordings, because I'm fed up of speaking about this game now. Gotham Knights is trash. This game is bad. This game is not good. We're going to break it down into very brief segments. We'll start with story. Bad. The narrative is not great. The premise is good. Batman dies. You play as one of his 4 proteges. So Batgirl, Nightwing, Robin, and Red Hood. So the premise I like. It's very interesting that we're going to get a universe where the Bat is dead permanently, and we have to play as his proteges. Trainees, proteges, whatever. Unfortunately, the game's story does not stick the landing at all. The narrative is very weak. The writing is very poor. Cringeworthy at times, in fact. And then right at the end of the game, they couldn't even stick to their guns. They couldn't resist bringing Batman back from the dead with the Lazarus Pits, just to have us fight him and then have him sacrifice himself at the end of the game to stop the Court of Owls getting a Lazarus Pit themselves. So in the last hour, they couldn't resist bringing Bruce back to life, and then 10 minutes later, they killed him off anyway. So in a video game where the entire premise is that Batman is dead, they couldn't even stick to that, which I think is just bad. It's poor. It almost shows that they weren't certain in their own idea, that they were scared that it wasn't going to work, so they brought him back right to the end just so they could say that he was in the game. But he is in the game. He's in the start of the game where he dies, so it's not like he wasn't. But to me, that shows lack of confidence. That shows that the devs were scared to kind of keep him dead permanently. But then it just feels like a really big cop out at the end of the game, and it just makes it feel stupider, because you couldn't stick to the whole premise. It just feels weak. So story, not good. Moving on to that, we've got the open world, also not good. Gotham, there are some gothic buildings looking around, like some churches and some big buildings and all that. Obviously, you've got Wayne Enterprises and stuff as well. But like Gotham, I don't know. Compared to Arkham Knights Gotham, it just doesn't really feel like Gotham. It just feels like a generic city with generic AI civilians walking around and driving around. And the open world itself feels really lackluster. So you've got the Bat-cycle time trials, those are trash. You've got the heroic travel time trials, those are trash. You've got 60 Batarangs to get, 42 pages of a book related to the Court of Owls to get, 12 graffiti things to get, and 40 landmarks to get for collectibles. That was just unnecessarily tedious, and a game does not need that many collectibles, but whatever. You've got the crimes, which are obviously the main selling points, and those are fun for the first like 2 nights, and then after that they just get really boring and really repetitive. But the problem is, with the feedback loop of the game, which is obviously to go out, do crime, get better loot from those crimes, repeat, you have to do them if you want to get stronger. So it gets to the point where you just resent going out every night to do the crimes, because you have to do them to get better, but you don't want to do them because it's the same activity you've done 15 times in a row now on 3 separate occasions. So, you know, variety is not the spice of life in Gotham Knights. It gets really boring really quickly. So far you've got a poor story, poor writing, poor open world with poor activities. We've got case files then, so these are side activities as well. There's 3 of them: Clayface, Harley Quinn, and Mr. Freeze. There's not much to say here. They're like 4 missions each. The boss fights are very badly designed because the combat sucks, which we'll move on to in a minute. And the fact that we only got 3 Batman villains is shocking. You've got a massive repertoire of villains you could have pulled from, and you picked 3, and that's all we got. That's just lazy. We should have had far more than 3, but whatever. Moving on from that, the combat, like I just mentioned, is really bad. So it's got nothing on the free flow system from the Arkham games. Obviously it was never going to be that good, but there's just so many poor choices. Like it just doesn't feel good to play at all. It doesn't flow very nicely. The momentum abilities are cool, but you're still vulnerable to attacks and damage while you're in the animations that you can't get out of, so you get punished for using your fun toys, essentially. And certain enemy types put together are just really frustrating to play against. Most notably, my least favourite enemy in this game is Drone Masters, or whatever they're called. They dodge every attack except heavy ranged attacks, but half the time the heavy ranged attack goes in the opposite direction of where you're trying to aim it, so you miss anyway. And if you don't deal with them, their drones just pepper you with bullets, and you just rapidly lose health, so they're really not fun to play against. So, because the combat's so bad, it then works even worse with the boss fights, because they just don't function very well. You can't really dodge things properly. You're better off just running around and sprinting out of the way of attacks. And your momentum abilities don't really work either, because they're meant for normal-sized enemies, not for kind of Mr. Freeze and Clayface and things like that. So the animations kind of don't really work either. They kind of look a bit weird. So not really great either. The final boss of the game is Talia. Really frustrating fight. 2 phases as well, which is just unnecessary. She's not fun to fight at all. And if we're still talking about boss fights, you then unlock showdowns. So after you beat a boss, you unlock a showdown, which is the boss again, but 10 times harder, with additional problems and elemental damage and stuff. Freeze not too bad. Mecha Freeze not too bad. Harley was a little bit irritating. Clayface was tedious. And Talia's was the worst, mainly because Talia can heal. I didn't know this when I went into it. She can heal with a Lazarus Pit. The only way to interrupt that is using a momentum ability. The only problem is, if Talia lands an attack on you, you lose a momentum bar. So effectively, she sabotages you and heals herself. But it's not like a little heal. If she's nearly dead, she can just heal back to 3/4 health, because that's what she'll do every time if you let her. She's a really unenjoyable boss fight, and she's a really unenjoyable character. She's just really irritating in this game. So was Harley, to be fair. Freeze, his motivation was just a bit stupid, and Clayface, I was not even remotely interested in either. So the repertoire of villains is kind of poor. Their narrative and their choices are just not great, and their boss fights are all pretty bad as well. So that's just disappointing. The Batcycle, compared to the Batmobile in the Arkham games, it's alright. Gets the job done, I guess. It just doesn't feel as fun to drive. It doesn't feel as responsive. It doesn't feel as good. It's just not as good, in my opinion. There's New Game Plus. Why you'd want to play the game a second time, I don't know. I had to, because the level cap is 30, but you need to hit level 40 for an achievement, but the only way to do that is to start New Game Plus. So essentially it just feels like a cop-out from the devs to kind of force people to play the game again, but it's the same game. Nothing changes in any meaningful way or shape or form. The only difference is you can level up to 40, and you can get level 40 loot and beyond. But nothing meaningful changes other than that. The story remains the same, the case files remain the same, the side activities and the crimes remain the same, the world doesn't change in any way, combat isn't changed in any way, so it's the same game. Again, exactly to a T. Which is really boring, and just really lackluster, so who cares? What else is there? Oh, there's Heroic Assault. Now this was kind of the final kind of update the game got. There's Heroic Assault 1 and 2. Heroic Assault 1 is all about putting Starro back up into space so the Justice League can deal with him, and Heroic Assault 2 is basically a breakout from Blackgate Prison with Clayface, Harley Quinn, and Mr. Freeze. Heroic Assault 1 is 30 floors, which is way too long. It's 3 rooms of floor, and trying to do this solo is boring, tedious, and just downright frustrating. It's meant to be played 4-player, but I didn't have 3 other friends stupid enough to play this game. And then Heroic Assault 2 is 15 floors, which is slightly less offensive, but still, each of those floors is a lot harder, so they take just as long. So you spend the same amount of time, really, trying to do Heroic Assault 2 as you did Heroic Assault 1. Overall, Heroic Assault was not it for me, and also it defeats the whole point of the open world, because the problem is, with Heroic Assault, Heroic Assault 2 drops the best loot in the game. It's like pink loot, it's mythic, which is like the best you can get. You can't, as far as I saw, couldn't get this in the main game world. So essentially Heroic Assault 2 made the main world, open world, and the crimes null and void, because you can't get better loot than what you get in Heroic Assault. So the game just devolves into only playing Heroic Assault, but then what's the point? Because you're just playing the same floors over and over and over again just to get loot. It's just boring. Because the floors don't change, they're the same. Like, you can load into floor 3 and it'll be the same floor 3 every time. Because it tells you what it is. It'll be the same every time. So it's boring, and it just doesn't make the game world viable, because there's no point. There's no point playing the open world when you can get the best loot from Heroic Assault, but then you've got this really good loot, but there's no reason for you to go back to the open world and use it, because you're not going to get anything better from it. So the loop doesn't work. It's not a good feedback loop for grinding, which is what the game end game centers on, even though it gets really boring really quickly because you've already had to do that throughout the entire game anyway. So that's my thoughts on Gotham Knights. The original video was far longer than this. It was like 25 minutes long, and then the second recording was also 25 minutes long. But honestly, I've had to say the same thing 3 times now, and I can't even remember half the points that I made. I'm not going to bother trying to just drag this video out to 25 minutes a third time just to kind of appease the YouTube and get a longer video. I would like it to have been the 25 minutes that I did originally, because I made a lot of good points, but I just don't remember what half of them were, because that was a couple of days ago I recorded that audio. So that's my thoughts on Gotham Knights. Personally, my opinion is, if you want to play a Batman game, play the Arkham games. Don't even bother wasting your time with this. If you enjoyed Gotham Knights and you're still playing it and having fun, then more power to you. I have absolutely no disrespect for you at all. You know, the whole point of video games is that we all enjoy them. We all enjoy different things. You might find something in this game that you love that I hated, and that's absolutely fine. You know, that's what opinions are for. I'm more than happy to have discussions in the comments about what you guys think of the game compared to me, if you agree, disagree, or somewhere kind of in the middle on the fence. I love having discussions with people about games and just seeing how they kind of perceive them and what they kind of think was good and bad. It's really interesting to me. So I'm quite happy for you guys to comment and to have some discussions down there. As always, just keep it respectful and you know, no negativity or anything like that, because I'll just shut that down immediately. Because it's just a waste of time. There's no point arguing. But that's my thoughts on Gotham Knights. Personally, not my cup of tea, not a good game in my opinion at all, which is no surprise, because that seems to be the general consensus now that the game's no longer being supported, and because it just didn't hit the quotas and targets it was intending to. Bottom line is, for me, if you want to play a good Batman game, then play the Arkham games. So I'm going to run the video out here. This recording is 10 minutes shorter than the original. That does kind of suck, because I did put a lot of work and a lot of love into the video, and it does kind of suck that it's kind of come to this now where I've just lost the first audio and the second audio didn't record properly, and I don't even know what this one is. I'm listening to it as it records and it's fine, but that's not enough for me. I'm not gonna find out till I press stop and go check it in a couple of minutes. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm really sorry that it's not what it was intended to be. I'm really sorry that it's not as long as it was supposed to be. It's just after losing the audio twice, I'm just really kind of deflated. It is anyone that's kind of done either like design or anything to do with Adobe or anything like that, editing or designing, and when you've like lost a file or something's deleted and you've lost it forever and you have to start again, will know how I feel about like that kind of feeling of defeat and deflatedness. That's not even a word. Well, you just don't want to do it again because you've just poured so much time, energy and love into it, and it's just gone, and you've now got to do it all over again, but you're not going to be able to replicate it because you've already given it your best the first time. So how are you supposed to replicate it a second time? But there's pointless me whining. It is what it is. So that was Gotham Knights. If you enjoyed the video, then do the normal YouTube things. Leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment. Like I said, quite happy to have discussions down there, as long as they're respectful and they're not toxic in any way. I hope you guys are having a good day / night, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Stay safe, look after yourselves. My next 2 videos should be Jedi Survivor next, and then after that then it will be a video on Dead Island 2, because I'm wrapping that up now with the last DLC. So those will be my next 2 videos. Keep an eye out for those. I'm also looking at revamping my upload schedule, either to once every 2 weeks like it should be, even though I keep missing uploads because of work, because it's really hard to keep on top of this now with a full-time job, or I'm going to really challenge myself and make this really difficult for no reason and aim for a video a week, because then I feel like that might be giving me a kick up the arse to keep the consistency running every week. But either that or it's just going to make me crash and burn and I'm going to completely fuck it up. But the only way to find out is to give it a go. So I put a poll on my Instagram. You guys will have seen that. By the time this video comes out, it's obviously going to be done. But I hope you guys like left a yes or no, because I'm just going to go off what you guys want. But yeah, that's Gotham Knights. You know, take care of yourself in the meantime, guys. Love you all lots, because you're all great. And I will see you all in the next video, where hopefully I don't lose my 25 minutes of audio. Hopefully. So that's me done. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care and have a good day.